1 Entertainment, Pint Cheese, Don Status down, baby. It's our turn, baby. Million Views, the podcast. You did it again. Be low. Still low. The Young Wonder. Hey, Mill. Million Views, huh? You already know, run it up. Cheez. Michelle. Talk to him.
Strive forward, hustle hard, and then we motivate. Taking chances, taking risks, shit we supposed to take. Million views on your brain, that shit don't sound bad. Millz&Cheez, Cheez and Mill, welcome to the podcast. Million views, to the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Million views, welcome to the podcast. Million views, man, welcome to the podcast.
Cheese, million views, bro.
Million views, we got Wilson Mill.
We here, man. What's happening, bro? We got a good one tonight. I'm excited about this one. This is already going good just based off the conversation, bro. Right. But let's do this the right way, bro. First of all, we gotta dedicate this show, bro. It's a very special woman, bro. That was awesome.
Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy belated Mother's Day, man. Miss Rita Grayson, bro. Miss Kendra Johnson, and Miss Vanita Tyree. Yeah. Rita Grayson Tyree. We dedicate this show to those three women. Three beautiful women, three beautiful souls, bro. In their own right at three different levels, but from the same tree. And what we have is another great fruit from that same tree.
Yeah.
Miss Olivia Grayson.
So Olivia Grayson.
Yes, I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all like big brothers to me in the neighborhood, and I appreciate y'all asking me to come on. And what y'all are doing is just a positive vibe, and happy to be here.
It's true. Excuse me, man. I'm sorry. What you saying is us being, quote unquote big brother figures to you, which we hold those badges proudly. We're very proud of you. But shout out to Big Grace, our big brother.
Our big brother.
You know what I'm saying? Get home soon, big homie. We miss you.
One of my best friends.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, bro. Real good dude. And like I was telling you earlier when me and you was chopping it up, that was one of the first people who let me know who Olivia Grayson was going to be. And you ain't let him down. Like real talk.
No,
you believe in you since you was pretty much could walk. You knew what you was capable of. You knew what you was gonna do. Keep pushing, bro. I'm ready to get into this interview. I'm excited about
this. I can't stop smiling, bro.
For real, bro. Because me and Cuz was talking earlier about where we from and how proud of it we should be, but at the same time still pushing past the boundary. You feel what I'm saying? Pushing past, thinking outside the box. I was listening to you, big cousin. We gonna get, like I said, we gonna get into that later. But right now, we want to. This is Women Empowerment Month for Millionaire Entertainment, and this is a woman here who is really empowering other young women around her. If y'all paying attention to what this young lady has done, we about to get into that in a second. We just want to know first of all what you've been up to and how you've been.
Right.
I've been good. I'm still in the basketball world. Never really left. After I graduated from Tulane in 2013 undergrad, I went on to get my master's from Tulane University. I was a graduate assistant on staff for about 3 years there, where I got my master's paid for. So no student that's there.
Congrats. There you go. Paid for a master.
Yes.
That's important.
And then I went on to be an assistant coach at Northwestern State for about 2 years, about 2.5 years.
Okay, we're gonna dig a little deeper off into that, but let's we gotta go back to the beginning. I remember you dribbling a basketball before I really knew that you was Grace's little sister. So let's go back. Where did it start for you? Like how was it growing up in Bunch Village? How was it growing up under Miss Grayson? But that had to be special.
It was really special, and it's one of the most cherished times, especially losing my grandmother last year. Just looking back at it. I picked up a basketball when I was around 8 years old, 8 years old.
It was that late?
Yeah, it was that late.
Earlier than that.
No,
well,
7 to 8.
You got busy quick. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
But the reason you probably think that is because my family is so ingrained in sport and ingrained in basketball. I had
That's a fact. That's true.
I had so many older cousins that.
Shout out to High Ride, bro. Shout out to what was her name? I'm so sorry about that.
Jantel,
but they had an older one.
Rita,
if you know.
Tish. Yes.
Shout out to her, though.
They just keep going.
How they doing? Everybody good?
Everybody good.
I see Chantel them pretty often.
Yeah, Chantel, you know, she's married, have 3 kids now.
Shout out to them, man.
Yeah, they're all doing really well.
Basketball early, 7 or 8.
7 or 8. I played at Jesse Owens.
Shout out to the Trojans. I played there also. Shout out to the Trojans.
I started there, but really, like growing up, basketball was really like my solitude, my sanctuary, where I went to kind of escape everything from family, from just growing up, whatever it was. Like basketball was my release. That's how I got through a lot of things in my life.
Something to keep you grounded.
Yes, something to keep me grounded and keep me focused. Like there's a lot of distractions that can come in and kind of distract you from what your purpose is and what you're supposed to be doing. And basketball was kind of that centering piece for me to keep me going in the right direction.
Right.
I can remember some times I used to ride around the neighborhood and I see you walking to the gym, and then I make the block again and I see you walking back from the gym with the ball, bouncing the ball to the street. I said, it's closed? Yeah, he ain't open in the gym today, man. The gym closed. I said, what you about to do? Now I'm about to go home and dribble the basketball in the yard. I said, all right, I remember that.
My first basketball goal was a tree outside my grandma's house.
Yeah.
There's a tree that came over off of my fence, off of my grandma's fence from Miss Dorothy's in them yard.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And there was a hole in the tree, and I was just shooting the tree because we didn't have no basketball goal at that time.
Right.
So I played curveball.
Yeah, that was
okay.
That was a game we played a lot on that side of the neighborhood, curve on Wilson Street. On this side, Little Farm side, they don't have no curves on the street. Right? I don't know if Cheez remember that game, but that was a game that
I ain't gonna
game
throw
people
on
actually
bus
played
on
on a
camera.
competitive level, man. Like real talk.
I'm not gonna tell them about the right to left on the camera. I'm gonna keep that for my
the right to left, the killer cross.
I'm not gonna do all that.
I mean, okay. So when did you know?
You real?
When did you know that basketball was gonna be it? Like that, it was gonna be that vehicle for you.
I probably knew going into high school because that really influenced my high school decision where I was gonna go to high school at. So definitely.
I don't know where you went to high school at.
I went to Archbishop Chappelle in Metairie, and at the time it was between Archbishop Chappelle and EJ at the time, and I had a lot of my older cousins went to EJ. My brother went to EJ. Right. Pretty much my whole family went
Shout out
to
to East Jefferson Warriors.
Shout out.
Your uncle
Alumni.
CJ,
alumni.
They all did their thing too, and they all ran. You know what I'm saying? But you made a decision, and it turned out that the decision was the best decision for you.
It was for me, and that's the key point. Right. Because I'm not knocking EJ at all because it's produced a lot of successful people.
They got some talent that came out of that.
Yes. At that time, it wasn't the best place for me to be successful in my future.
For you, right. And stress that to these young ladies and young men, just young athletes or just young people in general. The decisions you make, like they not gonna all come like life or death situation at that time. But it could be make or break situation. You know what I'm saying? It could be make or break decisions, I meant to say. You know what I'm saying? So like really take heed, take your time and be
conscious of what you're doing, man.
Have some foresight of what you got going on. Like think a little bit up the road a little bit. Because like she said, it was a decision that she was able to make in her mind, conscious, going into the 9th grade, that you know what, I'm gonna go here because they more focused on this, that, and the third, and this is what I'm driven behind.
Right.
That was smart, though. That was, and that showed a lot of maturity at your age.
Yeah.
To go, I ain't gonna say go against family, but go against your heart, tugging at you. You know what I'm saying? To follow in certain people's footsteps, you carved out your own lane, and that's respectable.
Yeah,
for sure.
You sound what?
Yes, you always have been doing it, but that was a quality. There was nothing wrong with that.
That's not a negative. That was
quality of yours.
At your age, you carry yourself like an older person, a quiet older person.
I've definitely been told that.
You know what I'm saying?
That translated real well.
Yeah.
I look at it, and I know your folks real proud of you. And like I said, we proud of you. Okay, now let me ask you this. We got to talk about this family. Okay. I'm not talking about the, household family. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What was that like coming up?
I was raised by a single mother.
Shout out to Miss Eileen. I call her mom.
I call her mom too.
Yeah, so raised by a single mother, and really my grandmother. We lived with my grandmother up until I was about 13 or 14. And it was just really me, my mom, my grandma, my brother, my older brother, and then my sister later on. But my family is huge from my extended family. My mom is one of 8, one of 9. I miscounted. Right. So I never was lacking for anything as far as a relationship with my father. My father came in. My father was there. He came into the picture around 13. But I've had aunts from that side of the family that can be connected to my dad's side of the family.
Okay. Shout out to them too, because that was important.
It was very important. It was very important. I've had brothers and sisters that I've gotten to build relationships with that I wouldn't have the opportunity to build if I didn't have my aunt come and pick me up and building those connections.
Shout out to you, whoever you is, auntie. You was the empowered
That's
woman that was able to empower this woman right here.
Let me ask a question. Does that make you stronger? As far as mindset of playing basketball at that age, young age, does that make you want to strive to do something to be the best at basketball?
For sure, it was definitely a fuel because my dad was in his hood. He was a basketball superstar.
Okay.
So it was fuel to my fire because it was like, okay, if my dad, if this is what he was loving and what he loved to do, to me that was kind of okay. Well, I'm gonna go out here and do it too. And at that time, at that age, it was almost like I'm doing it so he can come and see me.
Right.
You know, and then it eventually switched to me loving it. But a lot of my at a young age, a lot of my fuel was to get my dad's attention.
Wow, crazy. But look how the Most High worked, because okay, the situation was probably we don't know. We the siblings, so we don't know. But your auntie had a presence of mind enough to know you got your talent from him. However, you could have got that from either side of your family. You know what I'm saying? But like Tita kept you in the loop, which was able to allow you to see that, okay, this is what he did. Now you were able to turn that resentment into a drive. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure it all came full circle, because look where you at.
Yeah, it definitely came full circle. Because like my dad came to see me play, I was able to, like, sport, it builds different qualities in you.
Character trait.
Yes. So I was able to express how I felt to my dad eventually. And now we have a great relationship. And a part of that is because of basketball. So it definitely came full circle. He traveled to see me play, and we've splashed up, we've grown because of the relationship struggles that we've had early on.
That's a beautiful thing, bro. For real, that's a beautiful thing. Now let's say this: you leaving Ike's Tony Converse, the same thing, but different situation. You about to get ready to leave Chappelle, right? You got I don't know how many colleges was on you, but I'm sure it wasn't one. What was that process like? What was the recruiting process like? What decisions came down the way?
Take us through.
So it really it starts before your senior year of high school. Like I started playing AAU basketball, which is where I got a lot of my exposure.
Kenna Angels, huh?
Kenna Angels.
Shout out to Kenna Angels. I remember that time. I remember that time period right there.
I started playing AAU basketball around 10. I got cut from my first team.
Yeah.
I made the D team. Then came back the next year. I walked out the gym in tears.
Yeah.
And I came back the next year. And made the A team. Didn't play. I probably played in 2 games. Scored 4 points the whole year. Yeah. I remember the 4 points.
That's the grind years, right? That's the struggle right there.
Right.
Then the next year, I bust my butt all summer and came back and made the A team again, and kind of took off from there. But the process of being recruited, it starts with AAU. It starts with going to different tournaments and getting exposed to college coaches, because high school, they're gonna come see you based off of where they see you at AAU. So once you get that exposure with AAU, then they're gonna come to your high school games. They'll start calling you. They can't call you until you're a junior.
A junior, yeah.
Going into your junior year. September 1 of your junior year, they can start actually calling you. But you can get stuff in the mail. You can go to camps. Camps is another big one.
Right, that's a good recruit to get into those camps.
I
don't know what's to happen in camps these days.
Camps are free. Well, not free, but you have to pay for them to go. You have to pay to go to the camps. But it's free exposure for you, essentially.
It really is.
Because you're gonna be getting coached by the coaching staff. Is usually a smaller group of people. It's really great exposure if you can get to the camps and afford them. Like we have a really affordable camp that's probably like $30.
At Tulane.
Yes.
Let them know how they could, young athletes can get involved with those camps, or how they could reach out to y'all and be a part of those.
Every college, every university has a website. It's an athletic website that they have on their page that has all of the coaches' emails. So you can email any of the coaches on that staff.
Or they could go to Tulane main website and go to athletic.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's TulaneGreenway.com.
TulaneGreenway.com. Go look into those camps.
University.
All athletes go look into that, because camps that's the way to get these people on your radar.
And social media as well. Like follow them on social media. They're usually advertising on there as well.
Okay.
That's a good one. All right, so now you decide to go to Tulane, right? What made that decision? Like who or what, was the deciding factor on that decision? Like what solidified it for you?
For me, I prayed about it. I talked to my mom, who was a big part of my decision.
Is she a praying woman?
She is. And we went on an official visit. And the only thing that I told my mom before I went on a visit was I didn't want to feel like I was too close to home, because I wanted to be able to, spread my wings and grow. And we went on a visit, and it felt like I was in a completely different world, because I'm from here. I didn't really travel the world at a young age, except for basketball. But it just felt like I was in a completely different world. They exposed me to things that I've never been exposed to, and I felt like I would be challenged, and I would be able to grow and be trained to be successful after basketball. So that really was solidified it for me, and it felt like a family environment. Like family was huge for me, and I felt like they would take care of me.
Yeah, I mean that's usually what any athlete will look for. You gotta not only be excited about where you're going, but at the end of the day, you gotta be comfortable. You gotta feel like you got some support there.
Yeah.
So that was major. What was your toughest obstacle in college? Like what was the things that, I don't know, like everybody don't have quit in them. Some people just don't have no quit in them. But what nearly pushed you to that?
Yeah.
If anything is.
I never thought about quitting. I would say the toughest transition for me was just the balance of everything. Like it's a lot when you think about being successful academically at one of the top academic schools in the nation.
From where I hear.
Yeah, and then being successful on the basketball court in the amount of time that it takes, like the extra work that you have to put in to be successful there. Just balancing, finding that time management was really like the toughest part for me.
Yeah, academic workload.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, what type of grades you made coming out of high school? You an honor student?
I was an honor student coming out of high school, but it's different. Like college is so different.
Totally different level.
Like, because like in high school, like when you're going to class, like you're gonna be there all day no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
You got your agenda that they're gonna give you at the beginning of the year.
Right.
They telling you, okay, you have this assignment coming up.
Yeah, they still walking you through.
Yeah.
They only
But when you get to college, they give you the syllabus when you walk in.
And you do what you do.
Yes. And you have to keep up with everything. Like you have to make sure you're organized and stay on top of your assignments. I remember the first time I had a 15-page paper.
Return papers.
and they were saying, you know, you can't do this, you can't do that, and I'm so terrified. I'm like terrified of getting in trouble about stuff like that. Like we wrote term papers and yes, like plagiarism type stuff. Like I'm like paranoid when it comes to stuff like that. So I'm like double checking, going over, make sure I'm citing it right. And just that type of anxiety for me was my biggest challenge for sure.
Okay, I asked you that to ask you this. How did that help you in coaching?
Oh, I still see myself with my players now, just being able to relate to them, because I've been in their shoes. I know that feeling of having a final coming up, but you still have this big game like the day before.
Yeah.
You know, like we have, like when you get to college, you have a scouting report that you have to memorize for your opponent coming up, and then if you have a final like the next day, like it's a lot of information for you to have to process. So definitely just being relatable, like being in their shoes, knowing what it takes for them to push through that, you know.
Okay. So what's the piece of advice that you give them as far as prioritize? Because winning is a priority, but at the same time, part of the student everything got to be main priority, especially coming from you. I know how you was raised, so I know. You know what I'm saying? So what's the further advice you be giving them?
I tell them to stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Like if you are on top of it, there's no reason for you to be anxious if you've done the work. Like if you've done the work to prepare for this upcoming final, if you've done the work to prepare for this upcoming game, like you have no reason to be anxious. So I tell them to, lean into the work that they've already put in.
Right.
Okay, this Million Views podcast, so we gotta throw some music at you.
All right.
What's your choice of music first off?
I have a wide range when it comes to music. I love rap. I love R&B. R&B is probably like my go-to. Like that's what I would listen to before games. R&B and gospel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually like gospel music too. I mean, we grew up in those type of upbringing, so gospel music, R&B, stuff like that, that was first, so you couldn't really listen to too much rap in the house.
Right.
So over years, you just grew real appreciation just for music in general. But that was a solid answer. That was a solid. Who's your favorite rapper?
I don't really have a favorite rapper. Like I just listened to the J. Cole album that just came out. I like Jay. I like Nicki. I like Jay-Z. I like Nas.
Jay-Z my favorite rapper.
Really?
For the record,
I'm learning here. I didn't know all these things.
I didn't know none of this.
I didn't get to see this side. Okay.
Yeah, I like a lot of different people.
All right.
R&B.
R&B.
Yeah, it was R&B. And then what are you in heavy metal or what
Olivia was like my go-to growing up. Monica.
Okay.
Monica, that's
yes,
right. Okay.
Monica, Keisha Cole.
Okay.
Mariah Carey. Really, Mary J. Blige.
All of this is shocking to me.
Really?
Yeah.
What y'all thought I listened to?
I don't know.
I'm not about to embarrass myself on camera.
I didn't think you listened to too much.
No, I thought I just like you said when you but I'm just going off of when you said wide, you said you listen to a wide range variety of music, so I'm thinking you might go off into some heavy metal.
No, that's probably the one genre I don't like is heavy metal. I like music with a purpose. Like I just feel like they don't have enough.
Damn, this shit exclusive.
Yeah, I'ma keep it short like I'm retarded. Pine gon' spit a punch every line, said he beatboxing the hardest. Flow be saucy, leave him icky, stanky like Ragu had farted. I been ballin', step back to the 3, I shoot that bitch like hard. I'm so godly, keep her on her knees.
She don't trust you. Loose slipping, got your fuck. You was slipping through this cut. I was trying to get it up, but you won't put on my stash. Now them yachts on your ass. I was trying to get it fast. Hey, this baby, I be getting it. Block love me with a passion. Grandmother than all. Look, we only talking plug talk. Go and score me some yak. Let your little friend get a drag. Then he gon' cop him a bag. Just determined that's my father. I ain't gon' lie, I be bothered. Real niggas gon' stress. We all want the best of this law.
We used to have a strength and conditioning coach that's all that he would play.
heavy metal? Well, that was a workout thing?
Yeah. And I guess since you can't really understand what they're saying anyway, like he didn't want any music that had profanity in it, like while we were working out. So we would just play heavy metal, and like all it was screaming and.
Oh, he didn't want to hear nobody curse.
Right.
Oh, okay.
How they know what they screaming about though?
Exactly.
That's a different conversation.
You're right.
All right. So you're a basketball coach now, but what was the journey that you took in between college basketball as a player and becoming an assistant basketball coach?
Okay. And I always knew I wanted to coach. So after I finished playing, I decided not to go pro, and I would have went overseas if I had decided to do that. And I went and I was a GA, which is a graduate assistant at Tulane, and I got my master's in social work. And the reason I did social work is because I felt like there is a direct correlation to coaching when it comes to understanding someone's mental health.
Yeah.
So I decided to go social work, and then once I finished my BA, I was assistant coach at Northwestern State. But just I guess like my thought process for that was like I wanted to give back. Like the game has given me so much, and it was such a great tool for me as a young Black woman,
right,
to open up so many doors for me that I felt like I needed to pour back into it.
Believe it or not, I ain't gonna say I knew that exact answer, but I just know you from knowing you, just watching you grow up and just learning you as a person. I knew that your answer would at least be close to that. That's why I really nominated you for this.
Right.
Women empowerment, cause like a lot of these young ladies just really not thinking like this. They're not moving like this for show, but they're not even really thinking like that. They'll be thinking about another person. So, like, the whole world, I ain't just putting it on women. I don't want to do that. It's the time we living in. We real selfish.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we got to get out of that. And that's a real testament to your upbringing. That's why I dedicated this show to the women that I did. Because I know you had some examples of good people, good women, especially your mom.
Yes.
That's a strong woman, but she really be praying for us, looking out. You know what I'm saying? She called me son. You know, and I know when she tell me something, she mean it, and it comes from her heart, and it comes from a good place in it. You know?
Yeah.
That's the type of blood you got, and I want you to keep pushing, keep doing what you're doing. We're praying for you. We're proud of you. I just want you to just keep going because you're a light. I was telling Cuz about that type of stuff earlier. You're a light. And when we came here, how graceful you was about us even being here. You see what I'm saying? Little small things that really warms people up.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too mushy on it. Let's keep going. You know what I'm saying?
What you got, Cheez? Who did she model a game after? Basketball.
Oh, that's a good one.
Who do I model my game after?
Who was your basketball?
And then,
why you say did? Like I still play.
Hey,
no,
somebody, Cheez, I'm gonna let you go.
What do you look
One of the basketball influences in my life was your big cousin, Roger Johnson. Shout out to you, High Ride. High Ride was a beast. Go ahead. I wanted to make sure you mentioned him, though, bro.
Transition that straight off into, do you look for that type of, that type of whatever you look for?
In my recruits?
In your players that you recruit, yeah.
Okay, so who I model my game after, it's a variety of people. I grew up like watching my cousins play ball outside my grandmother's house. So definitely Roderick, Hot Rod as y'all call him. His game was so smooth.
Yeah.
Like so smooth. Like he could shoot, he could stroke it from really anywhere on the court, and it was like you never knew when he was about to pull up. So definitely.
Both hands, nice. I told him one day in a text, not to cut you off. I told him one day because I'm not sure if I think I told Rod this before, but I wasn't sure if I had ever told him that. Like, dude, I seen Rod one day and I was leaving the gym. I was mad because the older dudes, I didn't get a chance to play on the court that day. That's when I was younger. Right. That's when you really had to, you had to be coming with it. Yeah. Rod was like, man, the problem is, Sam, whenever I see you, you don't have no basketball with you. Like, how you gonna be the man? You know what I'm saying? Every time I see you, dog, I want to see you with a basketball. Right. You need to get your left hand together. You need to work on your jump shots, Sam. Work on your defense. Like, Rod was one of them people, and he gonna say all this like she said. he's so smooth. He's saying this while he's shooting ball or walking past. Like, he coaching me while he's doing him.
Right.
He was that nice with it, bro. I just wanted to say that, dog. Shout out to my dog.
Yeah, so definitely him. My other older cousins, Tish, Jontel, Rita.
Tell the dog. I told her that recently. She was a dog at basketball.
Yeah.
All of them.
There wasn't too many of them. Rita was a dog too. I seen Rita play a lot.
Yeah, I never knew she was named after y'all. That's crazy.
Yeah, so all of them, professionally, like looking at professionals, Tamika Catchings, and she played at Tennessee, and she actually was just inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah. Congratulations to her.
Was a dog.
Who else? Obviously, like the Kobe's, the MJ's, like just watching them. I used to watch, Allen Iverson for sure.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's a good one.
Like, he was one of the first pair of shoes that I actually wanted to
That's
buy.
what influenced that crossover?
Yeah, for sure. And he was, undersized, just had a different type of mentality about him. So really, all of them for sure. And then do I look for the same type of game in my recruits?
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't say the same type of game, but it's definitely like a mindset.
Certain mentality.
It's definitely a mindset that I look for in my recruits. It's just like I'm not backing down from anything type of mindset. Like I'm ready to go to war. I'm ready to rise up to a challenge type of mindset for sure.
Okay, all right. That's a fire way. I like that.
That's a good question.
What are some goals that you either haven't reached yet or that you just have in mind?
I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. I want to open up I want to start a nonprofit that benefits underprivileged youth, and I want to do it to where it works with sport, because I feel like sport is such an avenue for our people, and y'all know what I mean when I say that.
Yeah.
That sometimes we only think about it as them playing the sport.
It's a very huge platform.
Hold on, let's speak on what it's really.
It's a platform.
No, it's about the therapy that comes with it too.
Right.
The rehabilitation that comes with it too. The outlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's so many different ways that we use sport to cope. And then when we get out into the real world, we don't use those same mechanisms that we use when we're playing the sport.
Right.
It's like, okay, so how can you go from being so great on the football field,
but your awareness outside of the football field is horrible.
Right.
It's all the components that are taken away from that once you step away from the sport.
Right. So the
sport is not just about you.
That's just
teammates,
exactly.
the trainers.
Exactly. So I'm trying to figure out a way to where we can teach our young kids to use the same qualities and characteristics that they use on the field, on the court, outside of those areas.
Maybe we can get together on that, because I've been reaching out to a couple of other empowered women. Shout out to Terry Miller, Mama Sheila Bridge.
Shout out, Mom.
And we're trying to put together an outreach program.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe we could partner up on some of the things that you got going on. Maybe it's something that we could do to help out what you got going on. Maybe it's something we could do to help us out.
Right.
But it's all a common goal. It's to reach the youth at an age where they still impressionable.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what it's really all about. At the end of the day, like you say, giving back. And you had the president of mind to be wanting to give back just from the gate. Like you actually plan to be a coach instead of pursuing a career in playing ball just so you could give back. That's beautiful. I didn't even know that, but that's really the definition of empowerment. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Not that you empower yourself, but that you empower us.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a fact. Let's take a quick break right quick, man. We're going to regroup in a second.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Million
Grayson, man. MillionViewzPodcast, bro.
Views, baby.
That's good.
short like I'm retarded. Pine gon' spit a punch every line, say he beatboxing the hard. Flow be saucy, leave him sticky like Ragu had fought it. I been ballin', step back to the 3, I shoot that bitch like hard. I'm so guarded, keep her on her knees, she choking, she coughing. Like it's Christmas, when it come to rapping, I'm the one they call it. Beatbox, pockets like the peacock. She call it when she need me, that's the only time she see cop. Fly, she call me bird, give her foot like I'm a Seahawk. Shawty is absurd, if she think I cannot please her. Used to eat on my pockets till them bitches started hurting.
It's the Enuma list to document the truth. I move my wrist. It's the holiday season, so I'm coming with gifts for y'all. And Darba El Kaloum 720 and all. Niggas got too much ego to pass the ball. It's that nigga Michael Paul. I came off the wall with knowledge, but I never made a visit to college. I found the tablet. I mix a lot of bad habits.
See that mosquito bit from over there where you at?
Yeah, she got a hickey. It's alright, boy.
Alright, boy.
She got hit.
Put on the mic, son, dude.
Program freezing up on here. It's all good. We'll just say let go. We should be alright.
No, that basketball.
Next time we gotta just record everything.
Used to beat a lot of people to that basketball. And it wasn't just because you stayed down the street.
She was a gym rat. She would have went around that gym anyway. You had it in you, bro. Like from the beginning, you had that in you. And I'm telling you, your brother, he noticed that before a lot of people. You know, growing up in the same household with your big brother, he should have. But I'm just saying, like, you know, just for the record, you never knew that.
Can I help you?
Uncle Chester,
Yeah.
you know where the bathroom at?
Yeah. Well, what's the door closed? Close the door. That's good. That's good.
It's crazy, bro. I wasn't sure if we would be able to make it tonight. I don't know how busy you'd be.
This is our downtime right now. We're gonna start getting busy again until July.
Who's your big rival?
In
Not in our conference.
not in our conference. Well, we play LSU every year. For me, when I was playing,
Okay. Who was there? Like, who was your competition? Who was there?
like my freshman year, they had Hollinsworth who went on to play in the WNBA. Teresa plays on too, playing in the WNBA right now.
People that came from
John
Tulane.
Kenny.
How's
He's playing
it?
at LSU.
What type of numbers you were giving them?
I like those probably some of my best games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So you really did turn it down for some professional sports to just do, you know what I'm saying, what you felt like right now. That's crazy. We'll start the show back up like that. We back, bro. MillionViewzPodcast,
Million
bro.
views.
Women's Empowerment Month, dog. We honoring our honoree of the night, Olivia Grayson. So, you know, we didn't know that Roses was your favorite, you know, but as a group, we got together, we got a little group text where we, you know, and by this being our first time, you know, honoring anybody, we had to at least give her, you know, something like, and what better than to give somebody their flowers while they can smell them. Roses just happened to be her favorite flower. But we was talking a little bit off of camera, which we never really off camera, but we was just chopping it up a little bit just now. And we just really learning some things that we just didn't know about her. The thing that I'm sitting here admiring the most and really like taken aback by the most is that she actually decided to not pursue professional sports. Most athletes' lifetime dream is to be a professional, you know, whatever that sport is.
Right.
But like I said, being the mature young lady that she is and always have been, she made a conscious decision because of, you know, I guess a purpose that you're in. You explain that to us a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely a purpose. And don't get me wrong, like growing up, like my goal, like I always wanted to be in the WNBA and play professionally. But as I like grew and matured, like I knew, like I really knew what my purpose was, and it was to make a difference through the sport that made a difference in me. So like I definitely made a conscious decision to not go play professionally because I could have. Like there's combines that you can go to play professionally, and I just decided not to pursue those. And we're just talking about like the people that I played against and put up numbers against that's playing professionally now. So it's not like I couldn't have went and played, you know. But it's always been bigger than basketball for me.
I mean, is it safe to say that you following God's calling on your life?
Oh, for sure.
God
for
definitely
sure.
had a calling on your life from the beginning. And here it is. We thought, well, it is basketball,
Right.
but you're using basketball as a vehicle, like we said earlier, not to better yourself, but to pull other, young women and young athletes up along the life. That's beautiful, bro, to me.
Like I feel like we always have this vision for what our lives is supposed to be, and then God come in and he like, nah.
Yeah, he got a totally
I got something so much bigger than you could even imagine, and like that's the beauty of it.
Right.
Like I could have went and played overseas and been, making money.
Famous.
Yeah, but that's not what it's about, and I'm so glad that God put this purpose in my life because now I can see the impact that it's making on young women.
Other people, right?
That's how we were talking about trees and connections. Like those connections are gonna go on for a lifetime.
Women have been standing up. Their platform in the last couple of years has been strong, using female basketball, other female sports, but pertaining, this right here, female basketball has been using in the front line of social movement, and on the front line.
And the
last couple of years, like give them their flowers right now. Either whether they're missing games or sitting out a game or two or being the first, right?
Yeah, women been on the front line,
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Like just looking back at the WNBA season last year, like before NBA players were sitting out of games, the WNBA players were boycotting seasons. Like they wasn't even coming and playing. Like look at Maya Moore, who is one of the greatest to ever play the game. Just said, I'm not playing. I'm going to work in the social justice realm to make sure that innocent people are not staying in jail.
Right. Shout out to Maya Moore for that.
Shout out Maya Moore.
That's a hell of a stand to take, especially because they don't make the kind of money that other professional athletes make and stuff like that. So them sitting out the season, that's a big difference.
Shout out all the women who participated or partaken.
Shout out anybody who willing to make those sacrifices in life. Just to, I saw something the other day, and I didn't really think about it until they put it in a certain way. It was a dude, he a nurse or whatever, right? And he was, he just made a comment. It was National Nurse Day, whatever it was. Nurses Week, yeah. But he made a comment that they really have to put themselves on the line though for other people. They don't get to not go to work or however it is you want to look at it, Brian. Like, when people have certain professions, we just look at the money they make or we just look at the lifestyle they get to live. But you're not really paying attention to the sacrifice that some people put into their careers, bro. And that's real big to me, bro. Like, I'm sitting here thinking about that because I knew how nice you was. I knew how nice you was on the court. But for you to be that big in the heart and in the mind, that's a clear indicator that God got something so much bigger for you, bro. And I wish you nothing but the best. I want you to keep pushing, keep motivating. What's something you could give to some youngsters right now, whether it be female or male? Like what's another, just some good advice, you know what I'm saying, as far as just life, not sports, but life as far as it pertains to decisions and going forward, like 15 to 19. What's one you really want to leave them with?
I really, like for me, I would say they really need to learn the song of their heart. And what I mean by that is really take time to listen and figure out what drives them, like what really motivates them, like what they connect with. Because if you can find that at 15 or 19, like you're really set.
Right.
Because like you're never gonna.
You're ahead of the curve.
Yeah,
Right.
you're ahead of the curve by a lot because like you're doing something or you found something that's gonna drive you to get up on those days that you don't feel like it, you know.
Yeah.
And if you can find whatever that is, like your purpose that really like talks to your heart, like that's life changing.
I feel like if something don't pull at your heart, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're not supposed to always make decisions with your heart because you do have to think. But if it don't tug at my heart, I'm not even thinking about it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I know the power of that. I know the power of tapping into the universe. Like my big cousin that's behind the camera, bro. Like me and this dude was rapping together. I was 6 years old. Now life then took place. You know, we both grown men now, and we had to did this in life. Just not ever disagreeing with each other, but just living
just life.
Different lives.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And here it is. We done came back together only on something
Full
positive,
circle,
bro.
right.
Full circle, and it's beautiful, dog. Cause like we literally work in the same space for the same company, for the same goal,
for the same purpose. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying, dog? And that's just beautiful. And I'm sitting here listening to Olivia, bro, and like, man,
proud of Olivia.
Proud ain't the like for real, bro. Cause Grayson, dog, I got to give it to him, bro. That dude literally said that this is what this woman was gonna be doing, bro.
Yeah.
And like for real, I gotta give him credit. I told your mama that, bro. Y'all have a lot to be proud of and thankful for as a family, bro. Even in the hard times, like right now, he, you know, it is what it is. But he got us, he got you. Right. You see what I'm saying? He got mom. He you know, he got baby girl. We just have so much, bro, that we really gotta be thankful for and stop tripping about all this other stuff. And we'll be so much further in life, bro. You know what I'm saying? You are like 20, probably not even 20% into what you about to do. You feel what I'm saying? I know how old you are. I'm just talking about like I'm talking about how much more you have. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's the most beautiful thought about it, bro. Like just having this conversation with you, bro. Just taking in your thoughts and your journey. Some of the stuff we didn't know, some of it we did, but just to see how you've grown, bro, as a woman, bro. That's what's up, and that's what this whole gesture is about. Women Empowerment Month, bro. And we honoring you, dog, Olivia, Grayson. You know what I'm saying? And this big to me. Cheez could feel my energy, bro. This the biggest show we done did so far.
I'm messing with
giving
her.
me a different type of vibe.
Yeah, she the GOAT from our hood as in
always been
basketball. She the GOAT, and we'll stand behind her 100%. I know I would.
Definitely, bro.
I want to see the right to the left.
I'm telling you.
We gotta get in the gym one day, bro.
Right.
We gotta get in the gym one day. But we definitely.
You're right-handed?
Yeah.
But the crossover go from what?
Right to left.
Right.
And she can finish with any hand.
So you finish
Don't
with
get
any
it twisted.
hand.
Don't get that part twisted.
So
bro.
you go from right to left, you can stay left.
Mm-hmm. All right. And by the time I finish, you're not even gonna know where I went.
Oh, all right. Really? Okay, all right.
But on a serious note, bro, we gotta get together on this community outreach thing, bro, because the community not only need us, but the thing I've been paying attention to, especially through these showcases and events Buckle been doing at the store, dog, they ready for it. People really starting to get ready for change. And when people ready, you gotta be ready with them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And that's what we doing. Like a lot of people see that, you know, Millionaire Entertainment, yeah, true indeed, we're a record label. We're a podcasting company, we're a production company. There's a lot of things that we got our hands in. But anybody that know us, anybody that know me, know one thing, that I'm about vulnerability. I'm about my neighborhood, I'm about my community.
Better believe it,
you know
Jack.
what I'm saying? I love my people.
Love our people.
And we trying to do something that not only make them proud, dog, but make them better. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Make ourselves better, make the neighborhood better. Like, you know, because, like, imagine being from a place this magical that got this much history in it, bro. And the only thing most people can think is something negative.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And me and Cuz was talking about that earlier. Like, it's just rich history back here that we don't tap into, dog. And this place only been here since 1955, you know, established. You know what I'm saying? But some of our families stem back further than that. Some of our family bought some of the first houses back here. Bought them, didn't you know?
Bought the land, then
Yeah,
built the houses on top.
like that type of stuff. I mean, it was mortgages involved and stuff like that, but this was only here for working people. Like this you know, this wasn't no housing development. This is a subdivision. This is you see the difference in it?
Right.
Like that's something to really be proud of, to say that your roots go that far back into an established place and not a scatter site or a project or whatever the case may be. And no disrespect to those people, but you know what I'm saying? You got to take a sense of pride in where you come from. Sure. And we come from a real serious place, and we're going to tap it. Like, we got some documentaries in the works and all kind of stuff that we into. But the point I was making was we more focused on giving back than y'all would think. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can look forward to a lot of things coming on, you know, coming to the table for Million One Entertainment. Olivia Grayson, she gave us her word that she gonna, you know what I'm saying, pitch in and help out. And we definitely gonna be doing everything it is we can do, you know what I'm saying, to help you out. And we just wish you the best, bro. We're very proud of you. Once again, we're dedicating this show to Miss Rita Grayson, Miss Kendra Johnson, and Miss Anita Grayson Tyree. I wanted to make sure I got those names, you know what I'm saying, all the way to the T. We love y'all, bro. Rest in heaven. Million Views Podcast, Big Grace. I love you, baby.
Love y'all.
Thank y'all.
Thank you again, Olivia.
Let me know what the
Million One Entertainment, Pint Cheese, Don Status down, baby. It's our turn, baby. Million Views, the podcast.
You did it again. Be low. Still low.
The Young Wonder.
Hey, Mill. Million views, huh?
You already know, run it up.
Cheese. Talk to him.
Strive for it, hustle hard, and then we motivate. Taking chances, taking risks, shit we supposed to take. Million views on your brain, that shit don't sound bad. Millz&Cheez, cheese and Mill, welcome to the podcast.